on my cookbooks, and today is a special day because it's the first day back to school. Sent my son off to his first day of 11th grade. Wow. Homeschooling is going to wait a minute. I'm still waiting on some supplies, but I wanted to make a dessert, and so I'm looking in my cookbook, and I found this honey bun cake. See that right there? It's got a box of cake mix, which I have, 4 eggs I'll get from my chickens, 8 ounces sour cream, and 3/4 cup Crisco oil, which I don't really use anymore. I use coconut oil or either just butter. And you layer in between the batter this mixture of cinnamon, nuts, and brown sugar. And then you put this powdered sugar glaze over the top after it's baked. It's so good. So we are going to do that. But you know, I was looking at, I had stuffed a bunch of these online recipes that I had printed out. Have you ever tried to print out recipes online? I mean, it gives you like 4 or 5 pieces of paper, and you don't even need all of that. I mean, you got to make it big enough that you can read it. So you've got 3 pieces of paper for that one. And then I taped on the back of that one because I forgot to print 2 pieces of paper or on the back. So I just cut, so there's 1 piece of paper. And then this one I try to get on 1 piece of paper. And look, it's so tiny you can't even read it. And this one I didn't even bother. I just wrote the glaze that goes to this cake. So I'm just saying, for the suggestion box, that we can make that maybe a little bit more printer paper friendly when we're doing those online recipes. That being said, let's get this recipe and get cooking. I just wanted to show y'all that I am making some homemade bone broth. I took the bones that were left from my chicken and the broth that was still in there, and I added some random vegetables I had. I saved the ends of my onions, put them in the freezer, and just save them for occasions such as this. I had a lowly little squash out of the garden, some banana peppers. I threw them in there. I put some garlic in there, filled it up with some water. Add about a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. And then I am going to slow cook this overnight in my crock pot. And then in the morning when I get up, I'll turn it off and let it cool down good. If you need to go to work, just turn it off and go to work. Leave the lid on, don't open it, and let it cool down while you're at work. And then when you get home, you strain all of the juices off, all that broth, that good stuff. And you can put it in freezer bags. You can put it in mason jars and put in the freezer. You could pressure can it if you want to, so it'll be shelf stable. You could even keep it in your refrigerator for, I've heard some people say 2 weeks. I would only do it about a week, and then I put it in the freezer if I didn't use it. But it is very good for you, and you can add it to all kinds of things. Make your stews with it, cook your rice with it. It's just so good. Eat it by itself. It's very healthy for you. So there you are, your own broth. Okay, y'all. See this back here? It's a mess. Believe me, it has looked worse. But I just wanted to say, sometimes we get so busy and our houses look a wreck, and it's okay. It's okay. My motto as far as cleaning is control the chaos more than the chaos is out of control. Okay, and that can look different for different people, but I'm just saying, my kitchen is getting nasty and I need to clean it. I got a lot of cooking to do too. This is leftovers. This is this morning. Okay, I got a cake to make and all kind of stuff. So we're gonna get busy with that. And I just want to say that if you also live in an old home like me that still have a lot of the original finishes, it can be disheartening because you're scrubbing it and it still looks nasty, kind of, because it's just stained, the finishes are wearing off, whatever, but it's okay. As long as you can say that you tried, you cleaned, and I also have to say that it's been a challenge in this house because we still have the original windows and doors in this home, which, adds to they're not the best with keeping the bugs out. We don't have mice problems. Only one time did we ever see a mouse in the house. Normally it's been up in the kitchen, and then maybe a year later, after I saw that mouse in the living room, my oldest daughter was here visiting, and she noticed that as my husband was reclining in the recliner, that mouse was on a sticky pad up under the recliner in his dehydrated form. Just saying, we found him though. We got him out of the house. But also, I have the occasional roach. Yeah, just, the occasional. I mean, we are not nasty people. It is not because we're nasty. It's because of these windows and doors. I'm just saying. Ever since my kids were little, I've always taught them, you make a mess, you clean it up. Toddlers, they're trying, whatever they can't get, I'm going to finish, but they're going to learn to clean up after themselves. So, we're not people that's like, oh, did you get food on the floor? Honey, it was okay. We'll let the roaches eat it. No, we don't roll that way. We do try to contain the chaos and keep a happy environment for our family to live in. Like I said, it's like a ministry, take care of it. Yes, things get out of hand, but you make those efforts to get it back under control. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to clean up this kitchen. Okay, now this may sound weird starting out savoring the Savior with this, but did you know that there has not always been online shopping? There wasn't always Amazon.com and Walmart.com, but old school. What I grew up with was the Sears catalog. In fact, I'm gonna put some pictures in here just so you'll know, in case you didn't know. But that's how we did online shopping. It's a catalog that had pretty much what you would find online. I mean, everything. Sears had everything. And the catalogs were this big. It was like magazine on steroids. It was huge. And I tell you what, this was me. I drooled over that thing. Every time it came in the mailbox, it was like a piece of heaven. Oh my gosh. And I would spend hours looking through it. And this is also what I would do. I was a teenager at this time, and I would go through it and I would say, look at the male models and say, yeah, this one's going to be my husband. Looking over in the children, these are all of my children. Picking out everything I would want in there in my home. And, it was just all brand new. All just beautiful. All dreamed up in my head. And I did that every time we had one. But you know what? As I grew up, got married, found out what my husband looked like. Wasn't one of them in there, but he was just as special. All of my children, found out what they were look like. That's always just fascinating when you're growing up and you hadn't got married yet. What are they going to look like? So I had all of that, but one thing I did not have was the home. All the brand spanking new, everything. This dream world that I had. I didn't really have that. We have struggled with financial things from time to time. We were young and stupid at some point, and I had just really placed too much of a value on that stuff, and it was really stressing me out. I really was fretting over it. I'm like, God, half my life is over, and I still don't have this dream world. What are we going to do? And it was just really not a good situation. And so I would just really not care. I would like, oh, who cares about cleaning this house? I just want new. I want to get away from this one. Or, stuff like that. But God, in His goodness, He helped me. And you know what? He used YouTube to help inspire me. I started watching homemaking videos, and I would notice that people who, and these were the people that really spoke to me, not the ones that had these gorgeous homes. They kind of stressed me out because that was what I'd always wanted. But the women who like lived in trailers, and I'm not talking brand new trailers, I'm talking about used trailers. They may even be in a trailer park, but they started taking ownership of what they had. They started taking care of what they had and embracing it and saying, this is me and I'm going to do the best that I can to make it a beautiful home. And they started finding their little bit of inner Joanna Chip Gaines, and they were painting everything, doing a little bit of remodeling, but and some people had their husbands helping them with that. But they were making these older trailers look cute now. That was just cute, and I knew that that was something that was good. And I remember watching this lady on TV, and I think it was a ministry in a third world country going to help this lady who lived in a hut with a bunch of children, give her a better home in a little community area, actually several families, with a well. But she had a hut. But yet, that dirt floor was swept clean everywhere her children slept and all. It was all neat and tidy. The area where she fixed food was just clean and tidy. I don't know if she knew the camera crew was coming, but she did a good job with what she had. And I thought, that is so cute. I want to live there. I want to go stay there. It made me see the value, the goodness in what she had done. And she took what she had and she took care of it. So I started seeing that, you know what? Okay. We got out of debt. Don't want another second mortgage on this house. That's really not good. No, really not good. Don't want to stress this out financially. And we really loved and appreciated being out of debt. So we didn't want to go back there. So I thought, okay, what can I do? What can I do? And so I started figuring out how to use the drill, how to hammer things, inspired by Fixer Upper and these YouTube people. And I started just doing what I could do. And I love to decorate. And you know what? Okay, I may not have a big budget to go shopping at Hobby Lobby all the time, but I love to thrift and I love to do some crafting stuff myself. Always done that. And so I just started making the most of what I had and what I could afford. And when I go thrifting, I really don't spend more than $10. And that's rare. And I just do that. And it's not even an all the time thing. But I can really say now that God has helped me to be grateful. That was what I was lacking. I was not grateful with where I was at. And He really helped me with that. In fact, after I'd been on this journey for a while and trying to fix up my house and just really just trying to embrace what I had and not fretting over what I didn't have and what I wanted and all the woulda, coulda, shouldas and get mad and all that kind of stuff. But I read this. This is in Luke chapter 12, verse 13, and it says, Then someone called from the crowd, Teacher, please tell my brother to divide our father's estate with me. Jesus replied, Friend, who made me a judge over you to decide such things as that? Then he said, Beware, guard against every kind of greed. Life is not measured by how much you own. Basically, classic case of keeping up with the Joneses. And that's what I had. And yeah, it sounds so ridiculous now. And I've even thought, that's so ridiculous, keeping up with the Joneses. I mean, especially if your last name is Jones. How do you keep up with yourself? But when I read this scripture, something pricked my heart. And I love God. He's not ever going to just load me down with guilt, shame, and condemnation. But there was a piece of me that was like, that's what I had a type of greed. And God helped me to get over that. And He's still working on that. But I see the value of that. Sure, I would like to have something new. And if that ever happens, that's fine. But I'm not going to stress myself out trying to figure out a way to do it and then get mad when I can't. So, he has helped me. And I am so glad. Because now I have a home that I can walk in and say, you know what, I'm at peace. I'm at peace with my home. And I really, really appreciate what all God did to help me to overcome something that was really stressful for me. And it was since I was a teenager. And you know, which makes me have the most grateful moment of all, and that is to appreciate Jesus. He has set me free from the power of sin and death. And not only that, he helps me in everyday life to have peace that I could not have in and of my own self. It is truly a joy to walk with him. It hasn't always been. I haven't always understood why he did things or why he didn't do things. But I've always trusted him. Even when it didn't make sense. You have to believe that he is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. And that means they just don't give up. They keep going. They may fall down, but they get back up and they just keep running that race with him. And this right here has been so much of a blessing, teaching me how to live according to his ways, not leaning on my own understanding, truly trying to just acknowledge him and have him help me in everyday life. And he helps you. So my prayer to you is, if you do not know him and you do not have that most grateful heart of all, to please ask him into your life. It is such a beautiful blessing to know Christ and to be reunited with the Creator who put us here on this earth, and to find out and discover